So I'm here with Billy this morning, who is new mum to 8-month-old Theo. And like many new mums, she doesn't have a lot of time to get herself ready in the morning. So I'm going to show you a quick everyday makeup routine using multitasking products that are easy to apply and completely foolproof. So I've already prepped Billy's skin with a Bobbi Brown illuminating balm just to hydrate and add a little bit of luminosity to the skin. So she's all ready to go. So I'm going to start off by using IT Cosmetics CC cream. And in the interest of saving time, I'm going to be applying this using my hands like Billy would do herself. I've chosen this because it's a great base that doubles up as a primer. It contains anti-aging serum. It also works as a foundation / very light concealer, as well as a pore minimizer. So it's an amazing all-in-one product really to apply when you don't have a lot of time on your hands and when you want your skin to look lovely and natural. So I'm just going to blend that in the same way you'd apply a moisturiser. This will just even out the skin tone and add a soft focus finish to the skin. You can pat using your fingers with a little more product in areas you might need a little bit of extra coverage. I also love the CC cream as it contains an SPF 50 to protect the skin from the sun, which is super important. Now, if you feel you need even more coverage in certain areas, whether that's to cover tired eyes, a blemish, or any redness on the skin, which you all get from time to time, concealer would be the next step. And my favourite is NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I absolutely love this product. It's a very pigmented product, so you don't need a lot of it, and you can just dot it on any concern areas straight from the wand. And use your fingers just to pat that into the skin. The warmth from your fingers will actually melt the product into the skin so it diffuses into any base products that you've already used so that it looks super natural. Concealer for me is one of those products I just can't leave the house without because it makes the biggest difference, especially underneath the eyes. And remember to tap it in to blend in this area. Never drag the skin around the eyes as it's so delicate. Now, while we're still working with cream products, I'm just going to add a pretty pop of colour to Billy's cheeks with a cream blush. Using a cream will keep the skin looking more natural and lovely and glowy. I'm going to use Bobbi Brown in the shade Rose, which will also double up as Billy's lip colour. I'm also going to use fingers to apply this. The colour can look a little scary when you first start, so by tapping it onto the skin you'll notice that it starts to shear out. So try to concentrate it onto the apples of the cheeks and use your fingertips to pat the product upwards towards the hairline to lift the structure of the face. Don't worry if you feel you've applied too much, you can almost erase the excess using a clean beauty blender. Just bounce it over the top and that should bring the realism back to the skin. I'm now going to use my fingers to tap the same blush onto the lips to act as a really easy, pretty lip colour that will harmonise with the rest of the makeup. And this blush is a really great product to have at the bottom of your handbag for on-the-go touch-ups, as it's the compact it's in also contains a handy little mirror. Now, if you have a little bit of extra time, you might not have the time to blend a whole palette of eyeshadows onto the eyes, but I'll show you a couple of simple techniques using only 2 products, a bronzer and an eyeliner. So I'm actually going to use the eyeliner first of all. I'm going to start with this at the very base of the lashes, and by doing the line underneath your eyeshadow, or in this case I'm actually going to be using bronzer, you don't need to worry about creating a perfectly sharp eyeliner because the look we're aiming for is a lot softer and the bronzer will naturally diffuse the line when we apply that over the top. This is just going to add a little bit more depth at the root of the lash to give them a slightly thicker appearance. Now I'm introducing my first brush into this routine. It's not something you need a million different brushes for, which I think you'll all be grateful for. This is a pencil brush, which I'm just very lightly running backwards and forwards with minimal pressure over the top of that line just to soften the edges. This on its own is a really beautiful look. Even if you don't have time to go over the top with any other products, it'll just give the eyes a bit of soft definition. Now, on to the bronzer. With a fluffy brush, I'm going to blend over the top of the eyeliner, which will give it a whole new dimension. So now you see more of a darker haze of colour wrapping around the lashes, which will look like it effortlessly transitions into the warmer brown on the lids. I'm now adding a little more pigment to build it up. I'm just taking this bronzer over the entire lid. I think for a lot of mums that are going back to work, something as simple as a quick, easy eye makeup is the difference between them feeling like they're on mum duty at home versus being in work mode at the workplace and feeling a little bit more polished and put together. I'm now going to start to blend this up towards the crease. Now you might find this easier when you're doing this on yourself if you look straight ahead of you and blend with your eyes open. So by using a soft, domed, fluffy blending brush, you'll find it fits nice and snug into the socket of the eye so that you know that you won't blend too high. Also, by holding the brush a little further down the handle, you'll find that you naturally apply less pressure, making it a lot easier to achieve a softer blend. Now I'm going to open up the eyes with a little bit of mascara. I'm going to start by wiggling the wand at the base of the lashes to deposit the product and then pull the mascara up through the lengths of the lashes from root to tip. I like to use the very end of the wand to help style the lash. I think it helps to guide individual lashes in the direction that you want them to sit. This mascara is one of my favourites from MAC. It's called Upward Lash and it's an amazing mascara for someone who wants volume and definition at the same time. It doesn't clump very easily because of the comb brush. Keeps them beautifully separated but delivers with serious volume. And this is just from one coat, but it does layer really well. We want to set all that now. I'm going to use a little bit of Laura Mercier loose translucent setting powder, and I'm going to use this mainly through the T-zone just to get rid of any unwanted shine. I do love a glowy skin, so I'm going to avoid the perimeters of the face and just concentrate the powder on the chin, at the sides of the nose, between the brows, and a tiny little bit under the eyes to stop any concealer from creasing. You'll also notice that I pat the powder exactly where I want it rather than swirling it over the skin, as doing that can disturb the placement of any products that you've put underneath. Personally, I find that setting your makeup with a loose powder in the morning sets your makeup far more effectively than using a pressed powder. And if you want to warm up the complexion a little bit, you can take that same bronzer we used on the eyes earlier. I'm using a duo fibre brush to ensure I get a really light application on the skin. And I really like taking it slightly under the cheekbones and across any areas that the sun would naturally catch the face. Nearly finished. I'm going to give the brows a little brush through with a brow pen, although this is more of a fibre tip than a traditional brow pencil. Now, Billy's already got amazing brows, as I'm sure you can appreciate. She needs very little help in this department, but I do love these pens a lot. These are from a great Japanese brand called Suku, and I love them because they're like tiny little felt tips. So they're hard to go wrong with, really. You basically just draw on any tiny little natural hairs and they give a very sheer colour that you can build up if you like a stronger brow, but it's impossible to ever look overdone when using this pen. MAC have actually also just brought out their own range of similar brow pens in really natural ashy brow tones, which I also love. So I'm just filling in any areas that might be a little bit lighter. And I'm going to finish the look off with a product that I'm sure a lot of new mums will have in their bathroom cupboards. This is actually a nipple balm, but it's also a fantastic product for lips. As it's made of 100% lanolin, it's an amazing natural balm that's great for soothing any areas of dryness. And I personally love it because it gives a glossy effect to lips, but without the stickiness that you get from a lip gloss. And there we go, all finished.